Well, give myself a bit of room. So I said that I would show you a little bit about what I do and how I do it through an Instagram poll. I asked did anybody want to see. A couple said yeah. So right now I am fixing up this kink bolt BMX. Needed a new brake cable, and now is the point that I need to put the straddle on. So the straddle for this brake, which I personally like, is a nice straight one-piece kit with 45-degree angles. That's going to help improve brake performance and take that sponginess out of the lever. But because this is a set length, I need to have the wheel in first before I set this all up. So I'm going to leave these two bits here. I'm going to put the wheel in. So all the way forward in the dropouts. Give it a little tweak. So these dropouts are really small, which means the wheel can't move back too far. So I'm going to leave the wheel in this position and not put the chain on yet while I'm setting up the brake. So the wheel is in its most forward position. I'm going to push the caliper, make sure the brake block is in a nice position. Touching the rim, not rubbing off the tire. This isn't its final resting position, that's just me setting it for the purposes of setting up the brake. I'm going to do the same on the other side. So this one was touching the tire, and now it isn't. Just a wee nip up. Right, so as you can see, springs are tensioned. I'm going to hook this little fella on, and as I said, it's at a set length, you can't adjust it, so we need to know where that's going to be. So the cable feeds through this little boyo, and then you have what's called a fixing narp. It's got a little hole on it, it's got a little Allen key on top, so we're going to put that on. So now I am going to pull the straddle cable forward. Before I do, I'm going to get my Allen key ready, because this is fiddly. So I'm going to get my Allen key. I'm going to tighten this little grub screw just so there's a little bit of pressure on the cable. Not a lot, just a little bit, because I want it to still slide. So I'm holding this one, pulling this one, then I'm going to put my fingers in behind, give it another little tighten, and now it's time to tighten this grub screw. So there's only so much I can tighten that because it's quite sore on my fingers. Then I'm going to grab a set of these bad boys that have got about 50 different names depending on what country you're in. Grab this wee boyo so it doesn't move. Allen key back in. And give it about there. So, do I know what tension that is? No. I'm doing it by feel. I've done it a million times. And now that it's got a brand new cable, at this point we always pull the lever as much as you can. And that has actually stretched that cable about half a centimetre. So there's plenty of room for me to adjust this now when I put the chain back on. And this barrel adjuster is screwed fully in, so that if I don't want to fiddle with the cable again, I can simply give this a little push, give that a bit of adjustment, and I'll get the brake feeling the way I want it to. Now I'm going to put the chain on. I have a feeling this chain might just be the exact length. I didn't measure it, but it has come off another brand new bike. If anything, it'll be 1 or so links too short, so I'm lying, it's about 4 links too short. Now I need to get some more links. This is an older bike with a longer back end. That's why this chain's too short, because it's off a brand new bike. Who saves this many chain links? Matt does. So there's a lot of different chains in this box. Different kinds, different ages, different brands. But I need something that is the same thickness. So this is going to work for me. So I've got too many links and I'm going to put them all on. I'll show you why. So I've got my chain tool and I've got these funky boyos again. Anytime I'm putting a link back in, at this point, I don't use the chain tool. That's pretty much the main reason why everybody bends the pin in their chain link. If you grab one of these, give it a pop, that will allow you to push the link in. Then you can line it up with the other side, give it another little push, and it just means that whenever you're using the actual chain breaker, you're only doing the little final push close to the end. So I'll do that now. One thing's super important as well, always put your thumb on top of the link whenever you're tightening this in. What that does, it stops the chain moving at a weird angle. That's looking good. Stops the chain moving at a weird angle, stops this bending, and stops you punching it unevenly out of that link hole. So that is sweet. Whenever you put a chain together as well, give it a good jiggle to make sure all the links are free. So stick it back on. Feeding it in through the back. I'll set it on top of the chainring at the front, hold it with my finger, come all the way along, and boom. There we go. So it needs shortened to this point. I'm not going to put a split link in this chain. They are super handy, but I don't have any for this width of chain. And the vast majority of people who aren't doing a whole heap of BMXing, or maybe just doing a bit of riding about, aren't really breaking chains anyway. So this customer brought this to a bike shop, so I can do it, and this is how I'm going to do it. Whenever you're fitting a chain, you don't have to put it all the way around. You only have to loop it round the seat stay. Give me link a bit of a kink. Okay, putting this back on. Gonna grab my thingamabobber and do the job. Lovely. Punched it straight into the other side plate, which is exactly what I wanted to do. I'm going to give this about 1 millimeter so that the pin is the same on both sides of the link. Again, give it a little side to side, free it all up. So over the pedal, over the chainring, then over the back cog, set it on the front and pedal forwards. Whoa, chain fitted. So this is crazy, right? What I'm about to do, I've seen new tools coming out and being marketed in the BMX world for this next part, and I think it's kind of crazy. What you need to set your back wheel is one hand and another hand and a spanner. So this has 17mm wheel nuts. I'm going to loosen this side, loosen this side. I'm standing behind the bike and I'm going to put my 2 or 3 fingers down this hole, push backwards so the chain's tight. Look at the gap on this side, look at the gap on this side. Give this side a little tighten, just a nip. Yep, I like that. Make sure the gap is the same on the other side. I'm using my thumb and pushing against the frame to make sure the wheel is in the middle, which it is. Give this side a little bit more of a tighten. Then I'm coming back to this side, using my thumb again, make sure the wheel's perfectly in the middle. Finish tightening that, back to this side, finish tightening that, no funky tools. Wheel is set, chain is on, brakes on, and because I'm fussy, I'm going to make this brake feel nicer. So you can't maybe really see, this wheel's going to need a little bit of a true, but this one's moving and this one isn't, which tells me that this brake block's touching this side of the rim first and this one isn't. So I'm going to readjust those so that they both touch the rim at the exact same time and it's nice and snappy. Hopefully that's simple and easy. Okay. So for doing this job, I like using the tri-spanner because you can get good leverage on it and it's a nice little one-handed tool. So I'm going to loosen the brake block, tighten the brake, retighten the brake block, I like that. And this one is pretty good. I'm pushing in with my hand while I'm turning this, and I'm using my thumb and index finger on the brake block to make sure it doesn't move. Lovely. So it's getting closer. There's still just a little bit here, which tells me that there's too much tension on the spring. So I'm just going to set the spanner on the tensioner. I'm going to loosen it a little tiny bit, like a 20th of a turn. We're getting there, almost. That is a dial brake. And I like doing dial brakes. I always get these pointy nose and kink this cable so it's sitting in the middle, looks nice and uniform. And then we'll get a cable end crimp. This is my wee box of wonders. I'm going to go for a black one. Stops this cable fraying, and it just means when you go to adjust your brake in future, you have this extra length to work with because it's been kept in good nick. So give it a pinch, give it a pinch, and we're done. That's a brake dialed and a chain fitted. Keep it lit.